vast numbers were gathering along the beaches of central Florida to witness history. The American people had been preparing for this moment for almost a decade since the late President Kennedy had responded to the Soviet Union's early superiority in space technology.
I wish to say, my fellow citizens, we shall send to the moon 240,000 miles away from the control station in Houston, a giant rocket more than 300 feet tall.
My hands are tied, my body bruised. She's got me with nothing to win and nothing left to lose. Whoa. Whoa.
it's very important to recognize here that as you had found what you could do with the rocket, as you found how you could get out beyond the Earth's atmosphere and into space and make measurements, several scientific disciplines that are very powerful have begun to converge on this area.
Jim, I think it is the top priority. I think we ought to have that very clear. Some of these other programs can slip 6 months or 9 months and nothing particularly is going to happen. It's going to make it. But this is important for political reasons, international political reasons, and this is, whether we like it or not, in a sense, a race. If we get second to the moon, it's nice, but it's like being second anytime. So that if we're second by 6 months, because we didn't give it the kind of priority, then of course that'd be very serious. So I think we have to take the view this is the top priority.
Number one, there are real unknowns as to whether man can live under the weightless condition and you'll ever make the lunar landing. This is one kind of political vulnerability I'd like to avoid such a flat commitment to.
I agree that we're interested in, but we can wait 6 months.
But you have to use that information to
What you're saying, yeah, but only when that information directly applies to the program. Jim, I think we got to have that.
Mr. President.
We don't know a damn thing about the surface of the moon, and we're making the wildest guesses about how we're going to land on the moon. And we could get a terrible disaster from putting something down on the surface of the moon that's very different than we think it is. And the scientific programs that find us that information have to have the highest priority, but they are associated with the lunar program. The scientific programs that aren't associated with the lunar program can have any priority we please to give them. Now, the other thing is, I would certainly not favor spending $6 to $7 billion to find out about space. Why are we spending $7 million in getting fresh water from salt water when we're spending $7 billion to find out about space? So obviously you wouldn't put it on that priority except for the defense implications. And the second point is the fact that the Soviet Union has made this a test of the system. So that's why we're doing it. So I think we've got to take the view that this is the key program, and the rest of it, God, we can find out about it, but there's a lot of things we want to find out about.
But you see, when
everything else.
you talk about this, it's very hard to draw a line between what
I think everything that we do ought to really be tied into getting onto the moon and ahead of the Russians.
Why can't it be tied to preeminence in space, which are your own words?
Because, by God, we've been telling everybody we're preeminent in space for 5 years. Nobody believes us because they have the booster and the satellite. But I do think we ought to get it, really clear that the policy ought to be that this is the top priority program of the agency and one of the two, except for defense, the top priority of the United States government. I think that's the position we ought to take. Now, this may not change anything about that schedule, but at least we ought to be clear. Otherwise, we shouldn't be spending this kind of money because I'm not that interested in space. I think it's good. I think we ought to know about it. We're ready to spend reasonable amounts of money, but we're talking about these fantastic expenditures which wreck our budget and all these other domestic programs, and the only justification for it, in my opinion, to do it is because we hope to beat them and demonstrate that starting behind it we did by a couple of years. By God, we passed them.
I predict an earthquake up in here. Say yeah, oh, 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 oh. I predict an earthquake up in here.